Please welcome AIPAC National Board Member, Hillary Smith-Kapner.
Good afternoon. Great to see so many friends. Last night we had the honor to hear Israeli Eurovision superstar Yuval Raphael. She performed her award-winning song, A New Day Will Rise. Today, we have the opportunity to hear more from the woman who inspires us with her resilience and beautiful voice. Please join me in welcoming Yuval Raphael. Wow. That's all I can say. I know so many of us we're just blown away. We are so privileged to have you here in person, and so many folks don't realize how impactful your song was for me and the meaning that it's had in my life. The words are unbelievable, and not only the music, the words, the performance. As someone who was in Israel for October 7th, as well as tragically losing my husband of 33 years, 2 years before, every single word mattered.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I'm just curious, because you are so magnificent up on the stage. Do you still get a little bit nervous?
Oh my God, yes, of course. Every single time. And I had this one conversation with one of Israeli singers. She has a career, I think, for like 20 years now, and she says she still gets nervous. And she wishes for me to never not be nervous, because that means you still care for it, and nervousness is always also a little bit of excitement. So yeah, I think I would like that to stay that way.
That's wonderful. I wanted to talk more about your music and about this summer's Eurovision contest. But first, I wonder if you could share with us a little bit more about your October 7th story. I know that you've said that talking about it the trauma is actually healing, and it helps you. So if you don't mind the question, we all heard your story, that you were in the bomb shelter for more than 6 hours, and none of us can even fathom that. Did you ever feel like, okay, I can't handle any more of this, like enough is enough? And I just wanted to say, none of us can imagine it. So if you don't mind sharing that with us.
Yes, of course. I'll take you to the beginning. So I went to the Nova Music Festival with 4 other of my friends. Around 6:30, I had like 40 notifications on my phone saying red alert. And I didn't understand. I mean, we were on the Gaza Strip. This is things that happen in Israel all the time. But then we got evacuated. We drove on the road, and we saw 2 bomb shelters on the 232 road. We stopped at one of them. We got in. I sat in the very, very, very back of the bomb shelter. My best friend was right on the corner. And then I had this one girl that I didn't know. They were both hysterical, both crying very loudly, not understanding what is going on. And at that point, I only thought it was missiles. When we turned to the bomb shelter on the road, we saw someone standing on the road, and we saw vehicles turning back, and we asked why, and they told us it was a terrorist shooting people. But you know, it's an hysterical situation. People are after a party, you know, they drank, so you don't really know. I took everything lightly. So we were sitting there, and they were both crying hysterically, and I held that girl's hand, um, and I told her everything's gonna be fine, and I held my best friend's hand, and around 7, I think 7:15, maybe, um, terrorists came inside, and they started shooting everybody. Um, there were people standing up, and there was us in the back sitting down. I was still on the phone with my dad, but I obviously lost contact. I let go of my phone. Um, after they shot, um, when they went out, the first thing I remember is obviously not understanding anything. Um, and then we did something that we did repeatedly every single time after they came and they shot everyone. We whispered each other's names to, to know what we're opening our eyes to. And all of my friends answered. But when I opened my eyes, the girl that I didn't know that was holding my hand, she was lifeless on my shoulder. And then I had another dead body on my leg. Obviously, everyone that was standing up had fallen down, and most of them were the ones that got killed first. So the situation was that we had a lot of dead bodies on top of us, and everyone that was down, it was like 1 meter on 2 meters and 40 people inside. And no one knew that this was going to happen, so we didn't arrange ourselves to be comfortable. So everyone was like tied into each other, and we couldn't move. After the first shooting, I called my dad. This is the conversation a lot of people know. That is when I told him, Dad, there's dead people. I need you to call the police. And he didn't understand the situation. He was, what do you mean dead people? And I said, Dad, there is dead people. I need you to call the police. And he goes, is there still terrorists there? And I said, we could hear them patrolling the area because we were on the road, and obviously there is no door on the bomb shelter. So we could hear them. This was one of the good parts, that we could hear them come and go. So that's when he told me, okay, hang up the phone, play dead. And that's what I did. I delivered the message to everyone around. And from that moment, the girl that was on my leg, that was the hardest part for me because I could feel my bone cracking. And the pain was unbearable. But I believe that she is the one that kept me alive because for a long time I felt very guilty for that, and it's still hard for me to talk about. But I used her to cover myself. So her head was the only part that I could move. And my back was glued to the wall, and I had this dead body on my shoulder. So it was very easy for me to lean towards the right side to her head because I had the weight in here. So I used to pick her head up, and I slide my head underneath. And so the dead body that was here covered my back, and my head, I put her cheek on my cheek. So that's how I covered myself. there were very, very bad situations in there. One of them that I recall very vividly is at one point they started throwing grenades inside. And that's when I got used to the shooting. The grenade always came last. So every time there was a shooting, I prepared myself because I felt like, the shooting was like making my heart race, and then the grenade made my heart stop. And every single time we opened our eyes, we couldn't understand why there were less and less people inside. And I really didn't understand that at that time. But when I got to the police station, there was a situation where I saw a friend and he couldn't recognize me, and that made me think, like, how do I look? Why doesn't he recognize me? So I went to find a bathroom, and I didn't find a bathroom, I found a shower. And I started rinsing my hair, and I took flesh out, and that's when I understood that people exploded. At one point, it was too much. I called the police like 40 times. No one came. And I remember throwing my phone, so I won't have the possibility to call them again. Like, I was like, I'm done. And I threw it away. And the worst part for me was my leg, because I remember sitting there and thinking with myself, I'm so disconnected. My soul is not in the situation. I could handle what I'm seeing, but I cannot handle the pain. And every single time that I closed my eyes and I was trying to, think about something else, and I could see my bone cracking, and I was like, I cannot do this anymore. And I made the decision with myself that the next time they come, I'm not bending down, and I'm gonna let them shoot me. And I remember thinking, will I open my eyes? Will I close my eyes? How am I going to do that? And in the weirdest way, I gained so much energy from that, because you don't know what's going to happen. Like, am I going to die? If I'm out of this, am I going to be without a leg? How am I going to live? And at that second, when I made that decision, I regained control, because it was my decision. And that just made me, I don't know, I was just calm again. And from that calmness, the next time they came, I remember thinking, I can make that choice at any time that I want. I can keep going. And that's what I did. And around 2, there was this guy screaming outside, does anyone need rescue? Anyone needs rescue? And I remember thinking, there's no way this is a rescue. This is like hell on earth outside. There is no way one could go by foot and just, ask if anybody needs rescue. And then he came inside with a gun in his hand, and he pointed out. And he started screaming at us, get up, get up, get up. And every single time someone got up and got out, there was shooting. So I thought they were killing everybody. But at one point, he started screaming, Nitzan, Nitzan, it's Dad. And then I immediately picked my head up and I was trying to look for someone named Nitan, like if someone is responding. And her eyes were like lit up and she immediately stood, and we understood that was her dad and we are actually being rescued right now. I had someone pull the dead bodies off of me and I got up. I laid in the back of the truck and we drove to the police station. And after that to the hospital where I met my dad, my sister, and my uncle.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
I just, I guess coming back to the music, because it helped you with healing and so many others, I think it's really been helping with their healing. We saw you confront in the video last night the anti-Israel hate at Eurovision. And I wonder, you just dealt with it head on. I wonder what it felt like for you to not only have the honor, but also the responsibility of representing Israel on the world stage.
Oh, wow. I think one of the things that helped me handle that situation the most was when I was preparing for Eurovision, I was preparing on the technical so long, for like 3 months. It was, where do you look at the camera? When do you breathe? When do you do the turn? When do you go up the stairs? Everything was so technical. And the second I got there, I was like, but wait, there is such a huge message in this song, and I'm the one that's supposed to deliver it through a camera and to represent an entire country that is having the worst time it's ever known. I cannot let go of the meaning of the song and be only technical. And that was when I got very scared. But when I got on the stage and they were booing at me, that reminded me exactly what I needed to reconnect with the emotion of it all. So I think everything is energy. It just depends how you take it. And I think they did me so much grace with that booze, because it was the exact boost that I needed. And I am very, very, very honored, and I will be for the rest of my life, that I got to represent my country at that time.
And actually, I think that, we can all, in this room, take a lesson from you about what we have to do. And if you could do what you did, we can do what we do. And so thank you for that. I just wanted to very quickly, congratulations are in order, because you're going to represent Israel again this summer as a co-author of the song that will be performed in Vienna in May at Eurovision. And so we just really wanted to wish you a mazel tov on that. Thank you. We all love you. We wish you the best for an unbelievable, beautiful future. We will all be, in this room, we'll be voting. In May, we'll be voting for your song and for Israel.
For Noam, the incredible,
and everyone,
incredible
please,
Noam.
please join me in giving a warm thank you to Yuval Raphael.